about BRICS and the countries in it. These countries do not have a common foreign policy and don't need to. Were they to have one thing in common, okay? Were I were I forced to find one thing, it is their non-aligned, neutral stances, okay? So, regarding the war in Ukraine, for example, the default position in the, New York Times or whatever is that, well, China actually really supports the Russians and their butchering of Ukraine and blah blah blah. They try to dumb it down like it's a comic book, right? There's a superhero, the good guy's NATO, and then there's a villain, and this and that, right? And then the same thing with Iran. Iran is this and that, and so on. This is actually not true. Go and look at the votes in the United Nations General Assembly, in the UNGA. All these countries, meaning most of the world, remember, BRICS now accounts for basically half the world's population. I know I'm doing a little bit of a rounding up, but I'm sorry, we're talking about the world population. I think, and BRICS did have their summit today. I think we can afford them a short roundup from 47% to 50%, okay? So we're talking about half the world. And this is not just BRICS, by the way. Just go look at the United Nations General Assembly votes where they're trying to condemn Russia, right? A lot of the countries, like China, like Venezuela, also when it comes to countries that, again, are not necessarily in BRICS and not necessarily aligned with Russia, they don't vote either way. They abstain. Let me pull one up, actually. I mean, I've covered this with you multiple times, but it's always worth repeating. So I think, what about Iraq, for example? They didn't, right? South Africa. Here, let's take a look. I mean, I find this a bit cheeky. They want to start, they rush to pass resolutions to condemn Russia. Meanwhile, Israel is bombing the shit out of Gaza, out of Syria, nightly, on a nightly basis. Not a word, no one cares. Whatever. So here, this was the UNGA from 2nd of March 2022. Let's take a look at the vote here. There's no question. The majority condemned Russia. Look at it. It's mostly green. No question about it, right? No one's denying that. But look at Pakistan. This is 1 month before Imran Khan is taken care of. Yes, meaning ousted. He didn't vote the right way at the UN General Assembly. And I'm not just, saying that. No. These are two State Department officials telling the Pakistani ambassador in Washington, you need to start condemning Russia at the UNGA. Look at Congo. Is Congo known for being a staunch Putin ally? Not really. What about Sri Lanka? Do they have secret ties to the Kremlin? What about Zimbabwe? Senegal? Mongolia? Namibia? What excuse do they have now? The truth is, many countries want to have a non-aligned foreign policy and a neutral foreign policy. And this is not a prerequisite or a necessity upon joining BRICS or at least applying to become a member of BRICS. It's completely irrelevant. And that is the beauty of it. It's that you have countries that are diverse. This is a multilateral entity. Remember, we're talking about multipolar world. That is the very essence of it. They're not supposed to be like, one country or follow one country. There is no one leader. Now, yes, you can, of course, point out that the Belt and Road Initiative was started by China, sure. But the Silk Road started in China in ancient times. This is just the way it is, right? And yes, Russia was also driving force behind BRICS. Doesn't change what I just said. Doesn't change it one bit. And so, or Algeria. Look, actually, Algeria, for example. What does Algeria have to do with Russia? I mean, what excuse are you going to come up with now? They just can't accept that, a lot of countries and often the most populous, the large emerging markets and economies, They just don't want to pick a side, and they don't have to. And that is the beauty of having a multipolar world. And I think this is disgusting that Imran Khan was bullied and is still being harassed and terrorized, quite literally, just hit with a million cases. I mean, if you want to try and count and look up every case that has been thrown at this man in the span of a year, good luck to you. This is my job as a journalist, and I could not keep up. The number of cases, the garbage, the nonsense, the bullshit that they have come up with against this man, it is, it's incorrigible. It's incorrigible. You cannot keep up. Every day they have some new charge. Again, I'm not just saying like charge in the colloquial sense, where they're just like alleging some random crap. No, like actual legal cases. I mean, God, it's all just to try and bar him from re-election. If elections were held this morning, Imran Khan would win. If elections were held the day that those, that the vote of no confidence, which was engineered by the US, right? Or shall we say, they put their hand on the scale just enough to get rid of him. The next day, if there were a vote, like Imran Khan said, he would have won. He didn't just run away in shame and say, "Oh, I lost the vote of no confidence." No. He wanted to publish the letter, and the High Court in Islamabad said no. He wanted an election immediately, and then they started hitting him with cases, so he's barred from running. This is a disgusting game, and I think this is very unfair, and so disproportionate and ridiculous. Like he doesn't vote the right way at a UNGA resolution. Who gives a shit? Does Russia go around, threatening prime ministers, through their diplomats, telling them you better vote this way at the UN, or we're gonna have to get rid of you and consider you a dent in our relationship? Madness, like actual direct harassment and bullying, just straight up.